This is 4 minutes for The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Ready? Long ago, in the magical year of 1982, Jim Henson and Frank Oz released The Dark Crystal. It told the story of evil beings called Skeksis, destroying the world by abusing a magical power connected to all life, and a lone Gelfling hero who was destined to end their reign. I'd never really heard of it growing up. It seems like it had more of a cult following, and I'd always heard Labyrinth brought up over this. So I really didn't have any reaction to hearing about a Netflix series expanding on this universe, but the artistry alone made me interested enough to check out the movie and the show. I'm obviously just going to focus on the show, but to give you an idea of my mindset going in after seeing the movie for the first time, I thought the movie was just okay. Totally held up by the puppets and the world and the Skeksis, while the Gelfling design isn't that great, and the main hero is abysmally uninteresting. I'm happy to say that I came out of the show more positive than the movie. However, despite all of the improvements, I still don't really find anything addictive about the series outside of skin-deep enjoyment. Sure, there's tons of themes and topics that are touched on: corrupt positions of power, the abuse and draining of the common working people, using class division to maintain your order, and spreading the truth to fight back. All of that is there, but more often than not, the portrayal of the characters doesn't let it stick in any meaningful way. There's plenty of reasons to watch the show still, just plenty of problems as well. The characters and the design of the world is stunning. It's basically the whole reason to watch a show, or the movie, and it's even better than before. It builds upon previous designs and either adds a fantastic new layer of detail, or generates new creatures that fit perfectly into Thra. The skill and craftsmanship in the making of it all is jaw-dropping. This additive creation is mirrored in the backstories of the characters as well as the general lore. Things like the different clans and Gelfling designs and the different Skeksis with individual roles really helps to flesh out the world and make it feel not so shallow. Some of my favorites are Deet, Lore, and the Hunter. Deet and her story with Hup is definitely my favorite part of the whole thing. Chamberlain continues to be a standout Skeksis. I love when he's able to manipulate people and make them doubt themselves with these twisting logical lies. There's also a bunch of great actors here that you'd never even know were there. Simon Pegg, Mark Hamill, Natalie Dormer, freaking unrecognizable Andy Samberg, and one last positive point specifically for Barnaby Dixon. His puppetry is amazing, and it's super cool that he got recognition on such a big project, in a way that really makes you understand that the showrunners respect and love this art form. On the other hand, the show drops the ball in other aspects, probably by expecting you to be more invested than you really are. Put next to the amazing practical puppets, the CG just does not look that good. The subtle eye manipulation and all is fine, but the full-on CG creatures just don't sit right, and maybe they're too fluid. The puppets aren't without fault though. It was an issue in the movie, and it's an issue here again, but the male Gelfling are just always worse. They have less detail and definition and expression than the female Gelfling. I don't like Algra, at all. I didn't like her in the movie either. She's really grating. She's like a way worse Yoda. The entire season definitely seems a bit longer than it needs to be. It starts out well enough with the characters starting to dig into the truth and get involved in the plot, but as it goes on, they progress the plot at a really slow pace. Finally, beyond the visual presentation, the whole ordeal is very generic fantasy. The sounds of the foreign languages, the general environment, the stereotypical hero crew, it's all a remix of Fantasy 101. Coming away from this show, the main thing on my mind was that a lot of it felt like a puppet show. The on-the-nose nature of the story and the fantasy feels like they were trying to be as blatant and unsubtle as possible. Then you pair that with your comically evil villains who have no depth and no redemption. You don't watch this for the deep characters and intense action. You watch it for the astounding creativity and the joy in bringing it all to life. For that reason alone, the score goes up, just for the puppets. So The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance gets a 7.5 out of 10. And done.